What's going on, guys? I'm Cody Girl. I've been getting the question a lot about why am I single. If I do all these videos about relationships and, girls, guys, whatever, and trusting them and all that stuff, like all your feelings, they always wonder why I'm single. If I know all this stuff about relationships, then, how am I single? Because they always think that somehow, magically, I have a perfect relationship. Well, to be honest, actually, I'm single, and I'm have harder time getting a girlfriend than, people think. Well, today I'm actually going to explain the reason to why I'm single. So it's kind of that, my story, I guess. Now, there are girls, don't get me wrong, that I could probably talk to and end up dating, but I don't, and I'm about to explain the reason why. Now, I've only had one serious relationship my whole life. Some of you will probably know who it is. I'm not going to say who it was because that's not important. What's important is actually what happened during the relationship. Now, a lot of you I've told that, I was perfect in a relationship, that it was her that screwed up. Well, this video is going to be a little different. I'm about to tell you the truth. I'm done lying because lying isn't going to get me anywhere, and it's definitely not going to get me a happy relationship. So what happened in that relationship is actually a totally different story. I was actually really selfish. I was inconsiderate. I was conceited. I was an a-hole. I treated my girlfriend like crap. I'm not going to lie. I know I've made mistakes. I know all that stuff, but the important thing is that I learned, and I'm actually way different now. As you can tell, I'm helping people. I love helping people, and I don't know why I never was like this. But thank God, that I actually did go through all that stuff. I'm just, I'm sorry that I had to be with her. I wish I would have learned by myself. But you know what? It made me become who I am today and become better. But anyway, like I said, I was a complete prick in the relationship. I was always arguing with her. I was always being mean to her. I never trusted her. I treated her like dirt. No one, not even guy, girl, no one should be able to be treated like the way I treated her. And, she probably doesn't even watch my videos, but she knows who she is, and if she just happens to find this one, I'm sorry for everything I did. But it's done and over with. It's the past. I'm not going to worry about it. But anyway, like I said, I was inconsiderate, selfish, I was an a-hole, I didn't care about her, the world revolved around me, and don't be like that, no one. And basically, I learned from that, and basically from that, I treated her so bad, she finally ended it and stuff. It kind of made me one of those things you don't realize what you have until it's gone. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't like her anymore, I don't want to date her anymore, I don't have feelings for her whatsoever. But it's still one of those things that when I did have feelings for her, when we freshly, just kind of broke up, I was trying, because she was already dating someone, so she was doing better than me. So when we first broke up, it was the fact that I was trying to get someone. But I wasn't dating anyone, I was just trying to find someone that was hot, and that was, basically, like I said, I contradicted myself when I said looks don't matter and stuff, but back then, I didn't know that stuff. Back then, it was like I was trying to find basically a supermodel, because I wanted to look good. And I was doing that for so long, trying to get her back to the point to where I wasn't even wanting to get her back, but I was still doing that. It kind of became a habit, just like people smoke, it's a habit. This was a habit. Me trying to look good was a habit. Now I'm not just trying to look good for her, I'm just trying to look good for everyone now. Now I'm trying to find this habit. My standards are too high, and that's the reason why I'm single. For one, because I'm not looking at the big picture. Yes, I say looks don't matter. Yes, I say appreciate what you have, that I want someone that treats me for who I am. Well, I guess I don't follow my own advice because I'm single, obviously, and like I said, my standards are way too high. I'm actually afraid to be committed in a relationship because, like I said, because of what I did in the past, I don't want anyone to ever have to go through that again. I don't want to put any girl through that again, and I'm afraid, not for them, but I'm doing it because I don't want to hurt them, so I just stay single. I would rather be miserable and single than to be in a relationship with someone that loves me and cares for me, but me treating them like crap. I do not want to do that. I would rather hurt myself than to hurt someone else. I put others before me, and I think that's the way it should be, and I'm just afraid of that. One second. Sorry. But like I said, I'm afraid of commitment because I don't want to hurt someone like I have been in the past, because I realized that I hurt her a lot. I probably scarred her for life, whatever. I'm just glad that she was able to move on and find someone, and no matter how much I don't like this kid, I do like him because he's making her happy, and that's all I really wanted. And I wasn't the one that was able to provide that. And you know what? That's what God wanted. That's what God wanted. Who am I to argue? So, but like I said, I don't want to treat any girl like that. So that's another reason why I'm not in a relationship. Basically, I'm single because my standards are too high. I feel like, I'm trying to impress everyone when really I shouldn't. I'm afraid of commitment because I don't want to hurt someone else. And, you know, don't get me wrong, I've been hurt a lot in my life. You know, I've been cheated on, I've been verbally abused, you know, I've been brought down to nothing. I know what it's like to be hurt, you know, and that was after I hurt someone else. So I don't know if that was karma coming back or not. But to be honest, I'm glad it happened to me, because now I know what it's like. I know what I put, you know, my ex-girlfriend through. Because, you know, I've had it happen to me, and it does not feel good. So, you know what? I'm glad I am who I am today. I'm glad I learned from my mistakes. And I'm glad I realized that I was an a-hole, that I wasn't considerate, that I was a prick, that I did disrespect women, that I did treat them like crap. And I'm glad that I did that, not because I'm glad that it hurt them, but because I learned from it. I'm glad that I manned up to my mistakes, and I'm glad that I am different. And the reason why I'm single is because I need to stop being, you know, scared. I need to stop being so, you know, emotional, whatever. And I need to go out there and I actually need to find someone, and I need to stop having my standards so high, and I need to take my own advice, because I know my advice helps, because I've had people message me and text me or comment or, you know, phone call me, couldn't think of the right thing to say, and say that they've watched my video and it works, that stuff I'm saying is true, that it's helped them. And you know what? That feels so good. I can't imagine a better feeling than knowing that you help someone, that knowing your advice helps someone. And you know what? I need to view that. I need to feel that. I know they say you need to help yourself before you help others. To me, that isn't the story. I don't care if that's true or not. To me, it's not true. To me, I'm going to help others before I help myself, because when I help others and I see others being happy because of what I said, because of them watching what I said in a video, that is helping me. That's feeling something in my heart that I never felt before. And you know what? Helping others is helping myself. So really, I don't need to help myself before I help others, because helping them is enough. But that's basically why I'm single. I mean, one second, sorry. I'm single because my standards are too high. It's an old habit that I have, that, you know, I want the supermodel because I want to look good. You know, I'm not accepting the true beauty that's inside someone. Instead, I'm looking for look. And yeah, I know in all my other videos I said, you know, don't do that. And you're probably like, why would I listen to you if you can't even take your own advice? You should listen to me, because I don't want you to end up where I am. I used to be suicidal and depressed, not only because of other problems, but because of how I treated this person. Because I felt so bad that I felt like I was an excuse for someone like being inhuman. I thought I shouldn't let, you know, and that's sure some people are probably like, that's a stupid reason. But you know what? No. I mean, trust me, you feel like total crap. And like I said, you know, I don't want someone to end up like how I am now. You know, I'm not stressed out or nothing. I've learned to accept being single. I've learned to accept who I am, my mistakes. But I'm just saying, we all handle things differently. We all have different feelings, and I just don't want anyone to end up like me. So you're probably like, why should I take advice from someone who can't even help themselves? You should take advice from me, because I don't want you to end up being like me. I want you to be happy. I want you to find someone for who they truly are. I want you to truly have a relationship that's real, not one that's based off looks, because I know what it's like. And that's why I'm telling you to do this, because it's true. Who cares if I can't take my own advice? That means that you should, you know, take my advice so you can be someone else. So you can be better than me. I want you to be better than who I am. Sure, people are like, I want to be better than this person. I want to be better than that person. I want you to be better than me. I don't want to be better than anyone else. Because, you know what, where I am, sure, I'm good with it. I'm content with it. But I want you guys to be just like how a father or a mother wants their child to be better than them. I want you guys to be better than me. Please take my advice. Please learn from my advice. And like I said, I'm single because my standards are too high. I'm afraid of commitment because I was an inconsiderate prick who was an a-hole. Words can't even describe how disgusting and just rude I was. And I do not want anyone to be like that. I don't want anyone to go through that. Take my advice. That's my personal story, I guess, of why I'm single. This came from the heart. That was all true. You guys can either look at me different, look at me the same. I don't care. I'm not here to please you. I'm going to live the life I want to live, not the life others expect me to live. That's a quote, Corey Grove. That's copyrighted. Anyway, watch my channel, subscribe, watch all my videos, share all my videos, like all my videos. Please recommend my videos to others. Comment below if you want any other videos. That's basically all. Thank you for watching. Thank you for everyone that's been messaging me saying my videos have helped. I really appreciate it. And I'm glad I can help. I hope I can continue to help. Anyway, I'll have another video out soon. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.